We're going to want to write a method called allLess, and it accepts two arrays of integers. So how we have allLess, and we're going to accept a int. We'll call this 1, and we'll have an int array, and we'll call this 2. And it returns true, so that means we're going to have a boolean. Returns true if each element in the first array is less than the elements in the second array. So that's pretty easy. Let's just add a public in front of this to complete our header. Public returns boolean called allLess, and these are our parameters. Completing the header, we can go inside of our function and code this. Well, if we, another part of this instructions, it says if the arrays are not the same length, we should return false. So the first thing we should do is compare these. If 1.length does not equal to 2.length, so we're just getting the lengths right here in integer form, comparing them, and if it's not true, they're not the same length, we're going to return false. We can fall down into this for statement. We're going to do int a is equal to 0, and we want to compare each of the same indexes. We're going to run this as long as, since they have the same length, we have 1.length. And also, by the way, if we didn't have this if statement before, you can just compare the two lengths, see which one's less, and compare it. You can change this. This doesn't have to just be 1.length. We could make it 2.length, but since they're the same size, it doesn't really matter. If you wanted to find a longer or a shorter one, you can just have a comparison comparing them and getting it that way. But that's a little bit off topic. So we will go through this increment a every single time, and we want to compare each of the indexes. So we said that the 1 elements need to be less than the 2 elements. Otherwise, we want to return false. So the easiest thing to tackle here is to just return false, because once we hit something that's not true, we're going to return false immediately. If we never hit that, we can just break out of this for loop and return true. We'll say if the element at 1 index a is greater than the element at 2 index a, we're going to want to return false. And since we have just one line of code, I'm not going to have another brace in here. We can finish this by returning true if we never hit a false, and then we can end this function. We can press submit. We passed 6 out of success. So that's how we would do this code. This is practice self-check 7.17 allLess.